shoulder content. You have new talent coming up. So how are you going to use this type of programming, the shoulder content, what goes around boxing, the 24 hours, your all access, whatever you want to call, just to
Yeah.
get to know that talent. How are you going to work that in 2021?
Well, one of the things that we did when we had our partnership with ESPN, which we were a very big part of
Yeah.
for, those nice 2 years that we did that. And I think we did 48 live shows during that time. Part of that deal required that we produced a show called Mano a Mano. I
Yes.
think you're familiar with that. And that's
Very much so.
Mano a Mano is kind of Golden Boy's original version of a 24/7 style show or an all access show. But we kind of really go at it from the fighter's point of view, and we don't do a lot of the hoopla within it. It's very, very straightforward, geared towards the hardcore boxing fan that really wants to get the inside story on these fighters, the trainers, the preparation. So with that concept, it was originally formatted as a 30-minute broadcast television show, basically 24 minutes with breaks that were put into it. Once we moved into our new deal with DAZN, as well as a lot of the stuff that we do for Facebook, we knew that the time length on that show, being 24 minutes, was not appropriate for the digital audience, the true digital audience.
Yeah.
So we've taken that same concept, but instead of that being a 24-minute running show, that show now is cut down into like a 7-minute show, right?
Okay.
7 minutes. And it gets the essence of everything that those fighters are going through. So we use that's one mechanism that we use to kind of promote our young talent. Another thing that we do is I have this great social media team, and they go in and they'll spend a day with the fighter, and they'll just shoot raw footage with these fighters, getting to know them, seeing how they are with their families, how they are maybe with their pets, what kind of talents that they have. Maybe they're musically gifted, all kinds of different things. But it's shot very much in the vein of the way that the younger consumers want to consume media on their phones quickly. Yeah. And then, one of the things that we did that was really unique for this last Ryan fight, and we put, a few extra bells and whistles on some of the stuff that we were doing. We were able to shoot a virtual reality piece on Ryan, and it was called The Rise of Ryan. And it kind of took a look at his entire rise of his career as an amateur to where he is now. But it was produced for Oculus, the goggles that you put on to watch on Facebook. And it got tremendous success. And it was just something that we were really thrilled with, because it got all kinds of views from a younger audience, a younger demographic that are interested.
The gamers,
big time. Yeah,
it's which is a completely different generation. Which takes me to my next question. Somebody like Ryan Garcia, who is, for all intents and purposes, when we're talking about broadcasting, is multifaceted. He's not just camera friendly. He's also user friendly, meaning he's easy to work on social media. Then he's easy to put on something that's virtual, that is scripted, non-scripted. Right. I mean, his win must have been, first of all, in the boxing game, which is obviously the core of everything, must have been ginormous. Yes. But how did that translate for you guys in all these things that you just mentioned, shoulder content, fighting content, social media content? How did that work for you?
Well, it's a really great question. Part of what we do, because we also, with our deal with DAZN, we do have a programming piece that is accentuated also to the live fights. So we work very, very closely with the programming departments at DAZN on developing a complete narrative on the fight. Mm-hmm. So with Ryan fighting Luke Campbell this past January, the narrative and the idea is to create like a movie poster, a movie marketing strategy. Mm-hmm. It was fire meets ice. So Ryan Garcia, fire, Luke Campbell, ice. So everything that we created throughout that, in conjunction with DAZN, all of the promotional videos always had the mention of fire and ice and what those attributes meant as fire and as ice. And it just works in a really nice ecosystem where the narrative stays intact and we're on point with it throughout. One of the things that we did that was pretty unique during fight week is we took the idea of the press conference, as instead of it being a traditional press conference with the dais and all of that and the fighters coming on, my team and I put together a concept that we pitched to DAZN, and we said we'd rather have this kind of come across as a TV talk show. And let us explain how. And we kind of built in an act 1, an act 2, and an act 3. Act 2 didn't happen because, unfortunately, Eddie Hearn wasn't able to make the fight. But if you saw that press conference, everything was set up where Todd Grisham was able to kind of handle the fighters and Oscar De La Hoya as the promoter in a manner where it was like a talk show. And then from there, they were able to push interviews over to Sergio Mora. And it really kind of took some of the boringness that you have at a traditional press conference and turned it into a TV show.
David, you just called our tradition boring. That is unheard of. Well, the truth is, the parameters are meant to be broken and traditions are meant to be changed in time.
Yes.